Hi, this is Esther from Stampin' Star Creations. I'm so glad that you could join me today for a 5 cards in 5 minutes. Well, I kind of cheated and I have sped up the video. So this is me compiling a few cards with scraps before I get on and knowing that the colours go together and just putting them together really quickly for you. I found that with scrap cards, by adding a bit of metallic in, it can just really help to complete the look of a card. I simply add a sentiment on this from Woven Heirlooms, and I really like the simplicity of this. Next up, I'm using this balloon with this gorgeous background I've created with Painted Harvest, and I was trying to go for this tie-dye look, which it looks like, but it's just been sat in my scrap drawer not being used. I found this one a bit tricky. I was trying to figure out the layout of the cards, and sometimes you have to chop pieces down to make them work, and I think it was the size of the balloon with the circle. The size wouldn't fit by the time I chopped things down. It's a very last minute decision to turn the card around in the end to make it work for me. The other piece of scrap with the circles was some scrap that I had used with some embossing paste, and I have scraps of ribbon that need using up as well. So I just needed something just to kind of complete the card and just add something else on it. So I use some scrap ribbon. Because it's a masculine card, I try and tend to avoid bows and tend to do knots instead. This next one, there's a mixture of retired things and new things. So the sentiment is from a retired stamp set, and that background yellow paper is done with the current pigment sprinkles. Again, just using some scrap of ribbon that I had, and just working with your layout, work with your scraps, try and get the best positioning. That mini trimmer is so handy to have on my desk. It just cut down things for scrap cards, quick chops, and it's done. So even the hollow of this circle die I've cut and used it to add as a feature onto my card. I find that if you choose 2 or 3 colours and just stick to that with when you are sorting out your scraps, it helps to be able to then produce a card. So don't feel too overwhelmed by your scraps. With this particular one, I had white on it just to help that stand out. Another one that I kept simple with some background paper that I had not used. Again, that's a retired Happy Birthday die, and some of this seaweed that was from the Mermaid stamp set. I was desperate to use that little goldfish, who was so cute. So in keeping with the sea theme, kept it really simple, gave him some bubbles with the gold pearls, and just by swapping out the background colour, it really changed the look of the card. So I drew these pieces together because they had very similar colours, but it doesn't mean that they will always work together. I think because I had a lot of pattern going on, it seemed to detract, and I really liked that embossed piece that was coloured, so I really wanted to work with that and not to cover it up too much. So rifling through my scraps, try something else. The silver foil was just too bright and it just wasn't working. Sometimes things do come together well, other times they don't. Sometimes you have to cut your scraps. So I cut the rose out in the end, so I didn't have all that other image around it. Sometimes just by stripping things back and going back to basics and keeping things simple can be the answer. So like I said earlier, I wanted to use that embossed paper as a feature on my card, so I decided to work with that. Again, adding in touches of metallic helps to complete the look of the card and just adds, I don't know, luxury, bit of sparkle, bit of something. So as you can see, that was a flower, and that got chopped up and acted as leaves, which were perfect for my card and just gave the rose some sparkly leaves. I hope this has inspired you to get out your scraps, use them up, but don't throw them in the bin, but don't leave them sitting there either. Thank you so much for watching. This is Esther from Stampin' Star Creations. Do subscribe to my channel and click that bell notification so you get notifications of when I'm live or when there's a new video. Take care and have a good day.